Hello, my name is Joan Gomez, and my team is conformed by Camila Silva, Juan Carlos Muñoz, and Adrián Garcia. And we are going to present our project about one world environment issue.
The consequences of water contamination are very broad because water is an essential resource for organisms to continue living. Releasing substance in lakes, rivers, streams, etc. to create permanent damage to the water, causes to natural functioning, or things to alter in a negative way in addition to substance such as chemical or bacteria. It can also be contaminated with energy, as well as electrical or radioactive. Water, which is easy to pollute, contaminate with energy, creates problems such as domestic wastewater. This way of the primary problems that exist begin at main continued pathogens. Signs in water, in wastewater, there are human waste, a grouping in a way and another, so different health problems come together because that water taught the water cycle.
Three-quarters of the earth are water, which is essential for survival, and most of it is contaminated. According to the WHO, it is considered that the water is contaminated when it presents physical, chemical, or biological alterations. Due to the great contamination that has suffered through the last century, which are many, all people will be affected due to the decrease in drinking water, which is also a big problem. Due to the contamination of ocean and lakes, all the animals that live there are being killed because of the dirty water. Actually, this is also a problem for us, because it does not matter that we are surrounded by bodies of water such as the Pacific and Atlantic Oceans. We can now take the water and the process of converting it into drinking water will be expensive and time consuming. Also, we eat a lot of sea animals, and that animals sometimes eat little trash that is in the ocean. And sometimes that is the reason we get sick. Also, when the water is contaminated, that affects all the flora that is around the water bodies, because since it is from there that they get the necessary water to survive. We need to start taking care of how much water do we waste on daily life, because this is a natural resource that we can create more. Like trees, we can plant more, but we can plant more water or do more water. And without water, we will die shorter. We also need to start taking care about what we're buying, because a lot of things that we buy go to the trash, and that trash ends in the Caribbean Sea, rivers, or lakes.
Most of the world is water, which makes water part of the most important group of resources, which make is essential for the maintenance and reproduction of life on the planet. Science is an indispensable part of the biological process that are carried out through reproduction. Water is the component that inhabits everywhere within all ecosystems and anybody. All living organisms who hydrate with water make water even more important. We can release that water, not to say that it is the most important resource. It's within our dependencies of the life science which all we call not the stated hydrated, our simple resource, reproduce. With this, we can release that it is important not contaminate it. It is essential not to cause any type of contamination site. It will bring extremely deadly consequence for use and our ecosystem. Well, a living being must stay hydrated and logically drinking contaminated water would not be convenient on our part, since that is why we could contract disease that would harm our health. In the same way, if we do not drink water, our body will be affected after not receiving a good source hydration. Science as is known. The human body is composed of large part of water, which makes water even more important. On the other hand, it could cause disappearance of biodiversity and aquatic ecosystems. Consequently, we would not have a source of obtaining food, so it would be another consequence after nourishing and feeding ourselves. Thanks to this, we can define that water is the most important resource that abounds in the world. Since it is a source of energy for much of the world. Without it, we would not have a great quality of life, or in a better way, without it would not be possible to live. This world has a lot of natural resource, which water is the most important of all. California is a state which aims to reduce water wasting. It will be sometimes that nobody wants to imagine. People who live there have said how difficult it has been for them to use minimum water possible. But the time to make change is now or never.
More than 80% of the world wastewater flows back into the environment without being treated or reused according to the United Nations. The consequences of the biggest problem that arise of many causes, that is the wastewater, mostly are by human activities. The most important natural resource, without a doubt, is water. It is the thing that maintains us alive. The world surface is made up of 70% water, which the rest is 30% earth. Unfortunately, the body of water on the surface, the vast majority, is salty water, not fresh water. Throughout humanity, it has been tried to transform that salt water into fresh water. Choosing water is thrown rivers where they have to stay active to avoid drought. After exposing quantitative information, many do not know the true reasons for the water drought. The reason we need to take action to save this natural resource is important to have more life on this planet. This importance of taking care of the water is related to human actions, of the habits that lead in this resource. In the actuality, people don't save water when there are many ways to do it. There are many ways, and that ways to do it has different water savings. Earth is in evolution, where water and climate interact with food, energy, ecosystem, and urbanization. Without water in families, when there is a solid drop, can be legal problems, health problems, etc. The Columbia Water Center is polite, is critically tackling water challenges in a rapidly changing. The Columbia Water Center is an organization who takes care of the water and human activities. Their organizations do their best to be able to make a change by informing people about this problem that is present is not seen as much as problem, but in the future it will. Thank you for your attention.